Hello everyone,
Hello!
we're back with another stream.
Yay!
We didn't stream Saturday because there was a problem where the game didn't want to save. So it hadn't saved our progress from our previous stream.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to fix it and it seems like I have, for now,
It's a fix, but it's a temporary fix.
Hopefully I can figure something more permanent out later.
Oh well. It works. It can save now.
Yeah.
Everything's good. We made it! Back to where we were before. So,
Yep.
I wasn't the one who did it, so
So, what did we do last time? Do you remember?
Well, we wanted to activate Stanley, but we couldn't. So you had to make some choice changes so you could activate Tatano.
Unluck, I would say. But yes.
What did I say?
Activate.
Whatever, same. Tatano is obviously going with, he was going with Kanana and Maria, right? He's the only one who could drive. And by doing that, we also were able to unlock Stanley as a playable character. So now we're up on 5 people again.
Yeah.
God damn it.
4 people.
Yes. Technically, the time slot, I think, has 5 people.
It does.
Because you end Midorikawa's, like, 3rd into the 10th. Either way, so that's what I mean by 5. But yeah, Stanley goes all thinking mode on himself, be like, the thing with the scramble might just be a setup, so I'm gonna go do my own thing. And then he realizes he has to go to the laboratory where Kanan and Maria and Tatano is at. They all die. A horrible death. That's what he makes it.
Was I what to?
Yes, Osa was also there.
And you as well.
Osa was also there. So we kind of have to try and rectify what happened in the laboratory. We kind of did. Then we get a keep out, right?
Nope.
No?
No, get better.
We still got a bad end?
It still looks better.
I mean, we're just in the building, I guess.
And you're just playing as Tatsuno instead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. That was Tatsuno playing that. Right. I think that is all that happened.
Yes.
It's been a week, so I think that's all that happened. Alright. Let's try and save everyone, because everyone's getting a bad ends right now.
Yeah.
Hello, girls. You just sitting on my chair? With my hair on your feet? Oh, Tatano. Probably dead.
I was wondering.
Inspection.
So, let's try and go into
What do we do?
Oh, wait. Wait here. I'm going to try something. What are you going to do? A little bit of persuasion.
Yeah, because we all know you're very good at that.
That will reach for the door handle or command stuff. Don't. Just keeping commands fixed forward. Just be wasting your time.
Oh, is that the police barricade we're at? I think that is one is supposed to have like a car coming out. I don't think it can stop.
No, but I'm just wondering if I'd like anything else. But,
Yeah, some choices be like, oh, you wanna get past the keep out? How about you make the right choice? I struggled a lot with the unlocking Tatano and Stanley because of that. I had to go find a fucking guide to do that the first time when I played it all the years ago. I all this stuff has been great. Pearls! It's not for you! I don't care. You can't drink that. It's a bunch of E numbers for you.
Someone who didn't get to finish his thought. Wilcock came roaring out of the nearby sidewalk. What the?
Ah!
Police cruiser sped past the nearby.
Yeah, nice. You have to get a bedtime to use both you and the photo. If your thoughts live. That wasn't it.
That didn't do anything.
No. Are you angry? He's an angry bird.
I have to find another way around. Getting back seat touch. Why? I want you to hold on to Mari so she doesn't fall. Use the green cone to command space. You got it.
Feisty?
Yeah,
Feisty! Let me get to the stick!
Cosmo waited until Mari. Then he threw the minivan into reverse and jammed his foot on the gas. He cut the steering wheel sharply on one side, a loud screeching filling the air as the centrifugal force made the vehicle.
Are we making things now?
Then the patrol car came forward.
God damn it! The patrol car again! God damn you, Kajiwara! Well, that's the same. Oh, back to the same thing again. So that didn't do anything. There's a jump on Jack's side.
Yeah, that's the Tatanol.
That's for Tatano, okay.
That's what like this.
A warning for Tatano. Say the right thing, perhaps?
Not necessarily.
No.
We'll see. We're trying all options.
Yeah.
It comes down to it. Shoot him! If you hesitate for a moment, we'll have you dead.
Boop, boop, boop.
Tatanol hung up without saying anything.
Alright, you saved again, so. Need to change it again. Just got some time.
Yeah, I'm just continuing here to see if I'm doing anything.
It's already saved, so it should have up a little bit.
I was just wondering if it had any effect on Stanley. Okay?
You can still see that. After it saves, you can see that.
Just keep Maria safe. That's your job.
It's a job! Now you can see it again. Changed? None! Alright.
It's going to release her at some later time. Since he'd gone to the trouble of infecting her with the virus, it's only made sense. Stanley could only think of one reason to release an infected Maria. Turn Shibuya into Ground Zero.
To Ground Zero!
Would sweep through all of Tokyo. A virus with a mortality rate of 100% would have spread through the region before anyone even realized it. It would be impossible to calculate the scope of such a disaster. First, it would run a circuit around the
Yamanode line.
Trying, okay?
It's the circular one in Tokyo, the green one. Out of the DR. Rail system. So basically, it spreads to everywhere else.
I couldn't guess that from it being a circuit.
Well, it's just around the Yamanote line. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a complete circle.
The circuit around the
It doesn't mean it's a complete circle. It just means it's circuit shaped.
You know what a circuit means?
Yes, but again, as I said, it doesn't mean that it's a complete circle. It could be like between two stations one wouldn't go, and it could still be a circuit.
That's not a circuit.
Whatever, doesn't matter. It's completely circle shaped on their maps. It goes both directions still. It's basically one of the lines that connects all the other lines, so fuck us.
And then if any of the infected happened to head to the airports at either Haneda or Narita, the virus would spread throughout Japan and the rest of the world in a matter of hours. That hadn't come to pass. Managed to secure Maria before she could develop symptoms and become infectious. Is that because we were better than Alphard? No, that can't be it. Alphard wasn't the sort to commit indiscriminate acts of terror. The threat of the infection spreading, horrific as it was likely just to cover to hide some other scheme. But then, what was the ultimate? Stanley didn't have enough clues to go on. Stanley made his way behind the stack of cardboard boxes. Oh, this is different. He spotted something that had fallen on the floor. It was a cell phone. There's also a bag.
Yes, he said that.
Next
to it was a woman's handbag.
Stanley unzipped it. It held a jumble of makeup, tissues, and other personal effects, but nothing all that. If it was going to find any clues here, it would probably have to be from the cell phone.
That's an old phone. Oh, damn. Look at those buttons.
He tried turning it on. There was no response. It appeared to be broken. Let me see that dice cassette from behind him. I'll see if I can fix it.
Alright, he's an electronics store, especially dealing in retro things. He can fix this.
You think you can? At the time, I don't think this is necessarily an.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying, he can probably fix some of the hardware stuff.
Do you think you can? Stanley asked as he handed it over. I won't know until I try. But that sign out front saying that I run an electronics shop isn't just for show.
That's his.
Turning his attention back to the handbag, Stanley searched more thoroughly and found a photograph tucked inside that he had overlooked on his first inspection.
30th of July, I assume.
What the hell? He stared at the image, swallowing the lump in his throat.
I assume that 30 does not mean what year. So. Hell, keep out, bitch!
Now we have a keep out for Stanley.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's progress.
It's different. Also means Tatsuno doesn't have anything.
What do you have?
An odd man. That's me, Norikawa. Kano, you already done that. Maybe you need to continue Tatsuno's, since his is also now different. It just kind of stops now.
Yeah.
So, you know, there might be something there. Since Stanley doesn't actually call him.
Yeah.
It's the Kachiwara scene. Are you hurt? Nah, I'm just bleeding off of my head.
Oh, I'm dying.
I'm fine. Just an epidural bleed. Don't worry about it. also a concussion doesn't help, because an epidural bleeding is usually a kind of thing that like takes its time, so well, caught because of concussion. Oh fuck, man. Alrighty. So that didn't really help much.
No.
Now we have to keep it.
Kind of
keep
what I
some-
assumed.
Yeah, but you never know.
Because we before we used Sandy's call customers
Yeah.
to remove this key card.
Yeah.
So now that it's no longer there,
Yeah. You have to keep
what
out.
time is this? 25.
Yeah. So it's 30, or yeah, 25 you have to punch it off. 30. That's Achi. What about 54 then?
It's not a bad end.
No, it's not a bad end anymore. I assume it probably will be.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Stuff is different, that's for sure.
Sesame!
Totally got it. I don't know.
Still, I assume he's still like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a question of the catch. They didn't really get a chance before because
That's explosion.
explosion.
Yeah, I mean, I assume the explosion of the retards would happen,
We don't know.
but I don't know. Can't know. Yeah. There's no escape.
So it's also an explosion that's close with the ship.
Might
No, because it has basically killed Kano and Achi. It has
be. I
killed
don't know
everyone
then.
here.
Maybe it's a van somewhere else again.
That's why he was like, is that why Stanley didn't want to come here? Because he knew there was going to be an explosion?
No, Stanley is just like on his own fucking mind mapping trip right now. It's like trying to figure out what Alphard's goal really is to begin with, right?
That was what he thought. in that bit.
Ah, swinging it up! Woo!
We're gonna miss.
Well, we don't know yet. Woo!
We also don't know if these are real.
No, we don't. Everything just kind of exploded, and we kind of just assumed that bad end. Catch him! Catch him! Said, kind of like wait for to catch one of those. Straight there.
We both started Palmer speeding away. This is different.
Okay, well, we continue now.
Kano made up his mind on the spot. There was only one right call here, and he needed to make it.
Alright. So you prioritize the lives of the people here, or you prioritize getting Palmer?
We need to get Palmer.
Alright, then run after
We have
Palmer.
enough people to catch the things.
We do have a lot of people. Considering system scans here. Run after him!
We had to chase after Palmer. It didn't matter if he didn't grab the bar. Something about the way this was playing out made me kind of sure.
So basically saying these vials are probably fake.
Calling upon all his rugby training, he broke into his... Okay.
Yeah. You don't remember? It was early on in the game you talked about it didn't rock me like this high school system. Yeah. It's a long while ago, I understand if you don't remember, but it has been mentioned once.
That doesn't mean you're necessarily good at working hard or something.
Well, most of the rugby players are good at sprinting, because you cannot run forward if you have the ball. So you're gonna be sprinting before you catch the ball. You can only throw it backwards.
Or is that that's supposed to catch the ball when it's in the air?
That's they're not the same.
Not
And
it's
not at all.
similar.
They have a similar ball, yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not the same.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know enough. But
it's not the same.
definitely dodging through the crowd kept Palmer inside.
With football, you can sprint ahead and throw it ahead. Can't do that now. Kind of limited with that.
He would catch it. One way or another, he was going to bring this castle down. Steadily, he gained a little
Whoa!
last he drew within striking range,
Look at his
and
face.
immediately dived into the lake. Caught Palmer around the waist, their bodies collided with Palmer went down, flailing and hit the people. Even then, he tried to resist. Kano's straddled him up and down.
Nice.
Tell me the password, Kano snarled. The kidnapper sneered triumphantly.
I don't know.
You made the wrong choice. Wrong choice? The UA's out. Now nobody can resist. You've just killed everyone in the city. Kano shut back. Nobody's going to die. And what makes you so sure of that? Well, you fled the scene just now. If the virus had really been in those files, you could have never, you could never have hoped to escape the escape. Running off on foot would be Palmer said nothing.
I mean, he's got you there, Palmer. That's a pretty solid logic.
Which means there was no virus in those files. They were just equal in order to find time to escape. Now Palmer grinned his teeth and stared up at Kano. The look on his face confirmed his suspicion. More important, it was your eyes. You didn't have the eyes of the man who was putting his life on the line.
No.
Eyes? Who do you think you are, Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, you mean Sherlock Sholmes? Game. Gonna get fucking copyright soon. I know the name itself is called. Never know what the Doyle family estate will do.
I know full well the look at them on the man's eyes when they're going to die.
Tatsuno did that. That's exactly why he knows.
In the back of his mind, Kano would fade the moment when Tatsuno died to ask him. And marched into that financial office to talk down a working larceny. Now then, the password. Give it to me now.
Help me!
Kano tightened his grip on Palmer's collar, but the man just gazed back. You have to get to me also once in a while. That was our visual deal. Kano wasn't surprised. He'd known it wouldn't be easy to get. Maybe it really would be impossible to strike a deal without her. But if getting her on the phone wasn't an option, Kano had to figure out what to test. Sweat beaded on his brow as he passed the office. Then he happened to catch sight of a car that had been overturned by having to take a cover. Gasoline had spilled from the vehicle, creating a broad puddle on the ground. Kano took out his handcuffs and cuffed Palmer over the top. Come with me. Jerking his cat back to his feet, Kano led him over to his car.
Palmer was like, no! Not the car!
And without hesitation, he sat down in the pool with gasoline. Yanking on the handcuffs, he pulled Palmer down beside him. Kano pulled a lighter from his pocket. Palmer snorted. And just what's this supposed to be? Tell me the password. Or else what? You'll light the gas? You'll be burned to a crisp yourself. Yeah, probably. Kano heard the casual desperation in his own voice. What the hell are you thinking? A smile vanished from Palmer's face.
Immediately Palmer's like, oh, fuck me.
Kano scowled down at him.
Scout down him! Yes! Alright, what do you want to say?
I just want to know the password. If that's really what you're after, then you can't kill me. Palmer and Kano locked eyes. both refusing
Fair point.
to back down. The scent of gasoline fumes filled the air around him. Kano knew that the slightest spark would set off a massive fireball.
Are you willing to bet on that, Palmer?
Probably he flipped the lighter on. Kano was serious. Palmer's eyes fixed in the tiny figure of flame.
The password, bitch.
Value your life so little? The password. In his mind, Kano could see the pages of the diary he was there.
Dictum number 1! Never cycle protect ever! Referring to that dictum a lot.
It's like the third or the fourth time we've used number 1.
At least.
Homer glared in defiance. Kano brought the lighter closer and closer to the gasoline. He could practically feel his own life growing shorter as his hand descended. And yet, he felt no trace of fear. His body was numb, and his senses strangely distant. Time seemed to slow. The world around him dissolved into a blur. He was surprised at how calm, how remote he felt, here in the midst of this life and death confrontation.
Palmer looks like complete opposite.
And then far in the depths of Palmer's eyes, he saw the barrel's take of doubt. He fixed his gaze on that point of weakness and did not look away. Palmer's shoulders slumped. He said, now Kano was certain of it. This was a man who had never put his life in the line before. Jesus' words sounded in the back of his mind. Need a cool mind, but a fiery spirit. A detective without a bow, but those is worth nothing. Let me go. Promise to let me go, and I'll tell you. Is that your answer? I don't think you quite understand the situation.
You tell me, and then I let you go. How about that?
The flame still closer to the gasoline. Palmer's eyes went wide.
You got a pimple on your eyebrow there, Palmer.
No longer was he able to hide the trembling uncertainty. All right, I'll tell you. Just put that thing out. Password first. His voice a strangled snarl. Palmer gave him the password.
Nice!
Kano extinguished the lighter.
It's blue! Hi? Guess we're calling Kanan now. Be like, you can stop the brute force thingamabob.
Pulling out his cell phone, Kano dialed up Osmo.
Same, they're the same place.
As he did,
Hey!
he recalled his last exchange with Stanley at the electronics shop. We'll continue.
Yeah, of course.
Looks like we'll be able to have that beer together after. Roosevelt did not.
Ah, fuck.
Kano guessed immediately that something was amiss. Detective?
The game is afoot!
Archie's voice was full of worry. I've got Stanley on the line. He says it's Detective Tasano.
Whoa! What you doing, girls? You going on my hair? Yeah.
Kano didn't get to hear the rest of Archie's words. A thunderous blast hurled him to the pavement. Where had the explosion come from? His ladder certainly hadn't set the gasoline ablaze. Kano hadn't been that clumsy. So what had happened? Only one possible answer came to mind. Palmer had blown himself up. But that only confused Kano further. His captive had already given up the password. What would prompt him to set off a bomb in his... As he was losing
Goes down
consciousness,
again.
Kano continued to rack his brain, but he found no answer.
Oh, where are you going? Yeah, you wanna go? Yep. A mysterious explosion. Well, we have Stanley here, so... It's a good way to continue it.
The red one. Well, it seems to be. Whoops.
X.
Seems to be X.
Yeah, it is. Now we get to know what he did up to that point. How did his actions change how Kano did something? I don't know.
That the bomb exploded at a later point.
Yeah, slightly later, but not a lot. It's in the same time slot.
It's in the same time slot, but he had more time.
Yeah, for some reason he had more ample time.
Turning his attention back to the handbag. Is this already found photographed? Okay.
It might not necessarily be that Palmer made himself explode, but someone caught a phone Palmer had and made it explode. The question is, how did Stanley's change here
We'll just
have an effect on that? Yeah.
It was a photo of Maria standing next to another young girl. There was something written in marker on the back.
The date. Me and Kanan. 7:30.
Stanley hurriedly flipped the photo back over and looked at it again. What does this mean? The girl in the photo with Maria looked nothing like Kanan, who had been there at Endo Electronics, who had left with Maria and Tasman just a few minutes ago.
Bum.
But if the girl they were working with wasn't Kanan, then who was she? No. Sandy felt his blood run cold. Could she be? Was she Alphard? The more he thought about it, the more it all added up. Assuming Alphard were masquerading as Kanan, the whole sequence of events suddenly began to make sense.
Yeah.
He was strikingly audacious and fiendishly clever. But she hadn't outmaneuvered them just yet. If luck would have it, they still had a chance to stop her. And at long last, Stanley could see the outline of Alphard's plan.
Well, would you look at that? Kanan is not Kanan.
The goal was to set the get the antiviral, but extracting the DDS from Hizumi's blood wasn't enough. Okushi Pharmaceuticals still had the drug at their laboratory. The antiviral's value came specifically from having a monopoly on it, which meant that in addition to obtaining the drug herself, Alphard also needed to destroy Okushi's research facilities. That was the crux of her plan. The problem was finding a way to infiltrate those facilities. In all likelihood, Alphard's scheme meant something else. Have Maria Ozawa kidnapped, then infected with the urine virus. After that, eliminate Tanaka. Once Ozawa learned that Maria had been infected with the virus, he was certain to use the antiviral on her. But he'd need his partner Tanaka in order to access the storage facility, and Tanaka was dead. That was why Alphard had been masquerading as Kanan. Kanan was Maria's friend and an expert at hacking passwords.
An expert at many things, it would seem.
If she could secure Osawa's trust, he would let her into the research facility in order to carry out the hack. That's why Alphard, in the guise of Kanan, saved Hizumi's life repeatedly. Getting Hizumi to trust her would likewise earn the trust of her father. There were still some finer details that remained a mystery. For instance, how was Alphard going to destroy the lab?
I think we know that one already.
Still,
Bomb!
Stanley could look into that once he was in custody. He needed to move quickly and stop her from even getting to Okushi facility.
Thanks, Dad!
Daisuke approached Stanley and held out Maria's cell phone.
Docomo.
As best as I could, at any rate. It looks like it'll get a signal, but whatever data was on it is all gone. I see. Stanley took the phone and put it in his pocket. We'd hoped he might be able to learn something useful from it, but luck evidently wasn't on his side. He was just going to have to go up against Alphard with what he already had. Now that he'd guessed what was really going on, Stanley went to talk to Kano.
I see. Right, this is before they split up. This is how I can affect him with some things.
You need to go to the Scramble without me, he said. What? Kano was visibly shocked. Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Please don't ask me to explain. Something else has come up and I have to see to it. Stanley hated having to do this. He wished he could explain everything. But if he made any unusual moves now, there was a risk that Alphard would pick up on it. It was better to keep his companions in the dark, just in case. I understand, Kano said. Do what you have to and come back soon. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you more. It's alright, I'll find a way to get by.
Thumbs up!
Kano gave him the thumbs up. The sight brought back the painful memories. Up until just a few hours ago, Stanley had instinctively seen Kano as all too naive. And now he finally knew why. Kano was just like his younger brother, Frank.
Frank!
He's too frank. They might have looked very different, but in the way they mixed up their responsibilities with the personal feelings, they were totally alike. Stanley couldn't discount that naivety.
Naivete.
Naivety.
No. Naivete.
Naivety.
No.
In the end, it was all a part of the human condition. Jack, are you really okay with this?
Ah, right.
Frank cast an anxious look up at his older brother as they made their way onto the University of Chicago.
University of Chicago? A private university in Chicago, Illinois, lauded as one of the foremost research institutions in the U.S. More than 90 alumni have been awarded the Nobel Prize. The school has made a number of major contributions to the world beyond simple academics, including the construction of the world's first artificial nuclear reactor, Chicago Pile 1, and the Chicago School of Economics, a school of economic thought that stresses monetarism.
It's my responsibility to look after you, Stanley said. As long as you take your studying seriously, I'm all for it. Frank had been worrying about tuition costs as he prepared for college. After losing their parents 5 years earlier, the two had struggled to get by. Yeah, but... Stanley set both hands on his brother's shoulders. Listen to me, Frank. You're my brother, and I care about you. I just want whatever you do to be something you can be proud of. Alright, Jack, I hear you.
Look at how young he looks.
And thanks. Kano, promise me one thing. With that, once this is all over, you'll go have a beer. Sure, alright. That's a promise now, remember. Kano flashed him a grateful smile. And in that smile, Stanley again saw a little something of Frank.
Alright!
Hurrying out of Endo Electronics, Stanley...
You've already done this though. But can you continue is the question. Try and go out. Okay, no. Shit. We've already been through this. Exact scene. But whatever.
We'll just have to continue.
Yeah.
And now you're ready to do that.
Thank you. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing.
Hurrying out of Endo Electronics, Stanley dialed up Tasano to prepare to leave. Listen carefully, your life may depend on it, he said as soon as Tasano picked up. He knew that the detective wouldn't be able to respond openly since Alphard was right. On the spur of the moment, Stanley devised a simple code for that. Yes.
For how?
How? He told Tasnos to respond with, "That's right," to mean yes, and "will do" to mean no. There was no time for anything more. It is different.
Okay, it is good.
Right now, Stanley just needs to stop Alphard from getting used to that. He quickly explained his suspicions about Calm. Satono sounded distinctly unknown. At any rate, Stanley said, we need to find a way to turn back without her realizing what's going on. Will do, Satono. He was going to head to the laboratories, despite his...
To the laboratory despite Stanley's instructions.
No, I was just trying to make sense.
Basically said
He said no, yes.
He basically said, no, I will not do as you just asked. Russ is like, oh no, but I wanted to be under the table. Yeah, there's poop on your trousers.
Isn't it trousers? I don't know the definition, but I'm pretty sure they're not trousers.
Trousers is just the British word for pants.
I think they're also a specific kind of pants. Maybe Maria is your top priority, isn't it? That's right. The detectives have information. Alright then. Guess I'll have to head that way myself. In the meantime, do not let her inside the line. That's right. Satono was no match for Alphard.
You're just gonna halfly sit on me?
If she figured out what was going on, she'd probably kill him on the spot. The assurance or encouragement would be meaningless right now.
Yeah.
Instead, Stanley left Satono with one heart.
What do you want to say?
If it comes down to it, just shoot her. If you hesitate for a moment, she'll have you dead. Satono hung up without saying.
That van is plowed over on the side.
The area around Jokensaga was destroyed. The government had declared a state of fire mode, and the people on the street were milling around on these shore.
The state of high alert! But Japan lacks both the infrastructure and the legal framework to properly deal with a large-scale planetary threat. Isn't that just fucking right? Coordination between the police, Japan's self-defense force, health centers, and so forth would be a monumental task. It's their system. It's very old-fashioned, so they don't know how to deal with it. In all likelihood, if a Bible was ever unleashed there, the target side would fall into chaos. Yes!
Main roads had been blocked off, and
Automobiles.
and motorcycles were at a standstill. Some vehicles had overturned and hurled in an apparent attempt to circumvent the blockade.
You don't say. Look at that.
Any moment now, Kano's team would be planning to action. Stanley wasn't sure what they might have gotten wrong, but Kano was certain that Please stay safe. You dare die. Stanley prayed silently as he darted underneath the rail.
No idea.
He made it to his car, still parked on the roadside. Unfortunately, beyond the block area.
What that?
Jumping in, he sped off toward the left. As he drove along. Stanley again tried to deduce Alfred's plan of action. If Alfred herself was on the way to the landmine, then what was the objective of the fake sent to the train?
Professor Palmer.
Yes?
Yeah, the fake.
Yeah.
Professor Palmer. I was just clarifying.
Okay. A call came in from Tasano. Stanley here.
He's trying so hard to chew on my cable.
Picked up quickly, but as he did, he wondered, why was Tasano calling him?
Again.
Alphard was right there. There was no way the detective should be risking a phone call. What's going on? Tasano said nothing. Stanley repeated the question. Still, Tasano did not reply. Stanley's apprehension spread like a droplet of ink in water.
That's
Hey,
why
has
he
something
called out
happened? Hey! Answer me! The call cut out. Stanley hurriedly dialed Tasano's number, but he couldn't get through. Something had gone badly wrong. He was sure of it. Had he been too arrogant in thinking that he might be a match for Alfred? His worries turned to the team at the scramble. What if they had walked into a trap? Figuring that it would be too dangerous to call Kano in the midst of the negotiations, Stanley instead dialed up Achi. Mr. Stanley? What's going on? To Stanley's relief, it sounded like things down at the scramble had gone well enough, so he asked Achi to put him on the phone with Kano. Yeah, give me a sec, the young man said. Detective! Stanley could hear Achi shouting on the other end. I've got Stanley on the line. He sent the detective Tasano.
Boom! What's up?
Oh, that's you. I
It's
thought
my
it was
foot.
Echo.
No.
There was a sudden... She's most likely sleeping on a chair.
Yeah.
There was a sudden tremendous boom, and then the call cut out. Stanley's jaw dropped. He felt his mind emptied out by despair. He opened his mouth, but he couldn't even bring himself to scream. All he could do was curse inwardly again and again. Stanley slammed his fist into the steering wheel. Then he did it again and again and again and again and again and again. He didn't stop even when his fist was marked with blood.
Damn it! That in? Commercial break!
Yeah, I think we should probably take a break here.
Yeah. Well, now you can go to Tatano.
Yeah.
You also still have Archie, but maybe doing something with Tatano might change
Yeah.
what Jack does here. Who knows? But yeah. We'll take a small break.
We'll be back in just a second. And remember, a break for us means a break for you. So, get up, stretch, slightly fluids, go to the toilet, get some drink. It's important. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah!
Let's do a bit of cleaning around here.
Hiding. It's fine.
Let's see if we can figure out how to do the ending. So, let's jump to top.
Yeah. Let's go!
One designated task should be a statement of growth. We ought to make it to the tab in no time.
just see Kanata in the background there, like, who are you talking to?
He's standing. What's going on? He asked the American. Listen carefully, your life may depend. I'm going to ask you some questions. If the answer is yes, say that's right. If it's no, reply will do. For a moment, Sasami was bewildered. But the urgency in Stanley's voice, however, he realized that there was some kind of emergency. That's right, he said, after a moment's thought. That ought to let Stanley know that he understood the code. Is Kanan with you right now? That's right. That Kanan is an imposter.
Not the real Kanan!
Tasman
The real Kanan has blonde hair!
Tasman gripped his phone more tightly, hoping it would stop the trembling in his hand. It's her, Stanley said. She's Alphard. The detective had to stifle a gasp of alarm. I don't have time to fill you in on the details, but I've got some pretty incontrovertible evidence. You need to turn back now. Tasman struggled to come to terms with what he just heard. He glared at Kanan through the rearview mirror. She was holding Maria tightly in her hand. Was this really all an act on her part? And if so, why? There was only one possible reason. If Kanan really was Alphard, then she had only one goal. She was pretending to help Maria in order to get into the lab, where she would be able to steal the antivirus. Oh wait, hold on.
Hold up a minute.
Kanan was Maria's friend, wasn't she? Izumi had said as much herself. Kanan is my sister's friend.
Yeah, but think about this, Tatsuno. When has Maria ever been in the same room and seen Kanan and still be conscious? Not even once!
I'm having her memories.
Exactly. Not even once! She hasn't even seen Kanan ever since she lost her memories either. They came up with this plan to get Maria kidnapped instead of Hitomi, but that was over the phone. They didn't have to meet for that. And as soon as they were in the same room, was the first time was about 6 o'clock in the evening. And Maria fell unconscious before Kanan came in.
Yeah.
Maria has never seen Kanan. This makes you think of that, right?
Maria certainly knew what her own friend looked like. And since it was obvious that Maria might be present, it didn't make sense for a clever imposter to pretend to be Kanan. When Kanan showed up on the roof of South Hill, making her surprise attack on Tatsuno, Maria had taken off down the staircase without her ever looking back. And when she turned up at Ender Electronics workroom, Maria had already collapsed and fallen.
Exactly!
Tatsuno felt a chill spreading through his body. As far as he knew, Maria had never actually seen the girl who was sitting in the back seat. But then, what about Hitomi? Shouldn't she have known what Kanan looked like?
Not
Tatsuno
necessarily.
tried to remember just what Hitomi had said. Kanan is my sister's friend. I just met her for the first time today.
Yep.
If they'd never met each other before today, then maybe Hitomi didn't know what the real Kanan looked like. That was the only explanation that made sense. Hey Tatsuno, are you still with me? Stanley sounded like he was on the verge of panic. At any rate, you need to find a way to turn back without her realizing what's going on. Even if Kanan really was Alphard, Tatsuno had to keep heading to the call. He went over the code responses in his head. Yes, that's right. No, this will do. Will do, he said. Saving Maria is your top priority, isn't it? That's right, that's my friend. Alright then. Guess I'll have to head that way myself. In the meantime, do not let her inside that lab. That's right. Tatsuno hung up. Who was that? Kanan asked. Tatsuno felt his heart skip a beat. That was Kuse, that cop from earlier. He tried to keep his voice as low as possible. He was worried about us and wanted to check up. Ah, okay, Kanan muttered, sounding disinterested. Tatsuno could only hope she hadn't guessed the truth. It felt like the spectre of death himself was breathing down his neck.
Wow, wow, wow.
At last, the minivan arrived at Okoshi Pharmaceutical. Tatsuno pulled up at the front gate and out of the vehicle. Off to one side, the entrance was an
What's up?
Off to one side of the entrance was an intercom for contacting the security room. I'm assuming you've already heard the details from the director, Tatsuno barked into the intercom. Open up! We haven't heard anything from Director Ozawa, the security guard spat back. And moreover, the laboratory is currently on lockdown. I'm sorry, but not even Director Ozawa is allowed inside. That's ridiculous. Tatsuno scowled at the intercom in frustration. And a car came racing toward him along the street.
Hello, Ozawa. You in your old car. No,
The sound of screeching brakes filled the air as the vehicle skidded to a halt, and then Kenji Ozawa jumped out from the driver's seat. Maria! Ozawa rushed over to Tatsuno, then to Maria, where she lay in the minivan. He looked carefully at his daughter's face. Oh, thank goodness. She still hasn't gone symptomatic. Mr. Ozawa, why aren't people being allowed into the laboratory? Ozawa tilted his head. They're not? Tatsuno explained what the guard had said. That's ridiculous. Ozawa immediately called the security guard at the intercom.
That's
He got the same
ridiculous.
story. Got to be kidding me, Ozawa raged. I'm the lab director here, but the security guard wasn't hearing it. I'm sorry, sir. These orders come from Mr. Makino. No. So am I just supposed to sit out here and watch my daughter die?
Again?
Tatsuno racked his brain for other ideas. Maybe they'd have to climb the gate and break their way in. Then over the intercom they heard the sound of a phone ringing in the security room. The security guard answered it without muting the intercom speaker. His voice was faintly audible. He sounded rather differential. Who in the world could he be talking to? Before Tatsuno could muse further, the gate suddenly opened.
It's I. I did it. I'm having fun with the puns today.
Huh? Why? Tatsuno and Ozawa looked at one another in surprise. I have a message from Director Ozawa from Mr. Makino, the security guard said. From Makino? Ozawa huddled over the intercom and had a brief exchange with the guard.
Yeah, I was also like, Soto would say, I don't know. Would she?
What was that all about? Tatsuno asked. Ah, it would seem that my wife was able to pull some strings.
Wife! After Osa left home, I had a change of heart. Would you look at that? Even if it meant losing everything, she decided she wanted to save Maria's life. Although Maria was not Ai's real daughter, it turned out that the time they spent living together had sowed the first seeds of a familial bond. Jugalad! Ai has a heart after all. And not only for Tanaka.
Ozawa smiled uncomfortably. Tatsuno didn't have time to wonder what that meant. Has that lock been opened for us as well? He asked. The smile disappeared from Ozawa's face. No. She wasn't able to do anything about the final layer of security. I see. Well, let's regroup inside for now. Very well, Ozawa said. By the way, who's going to be hacking the password?
I am.
I am. Kanan. Ah, so you're Kanan. We should get you to the laboratory. Ozawa began to lead the way inside Kanan's hall.
Tatsuno's like, I don't know about this.
If Kanan really was Alphard, Tatsuno couldn't let her into that lab. But without getting that lock open, there was no way of getting Maria the answer she needed to survive. What was the right call? Should he still pretend to be in the dark and let Kanan try to hack the password?
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna let her into the lab? Or are you gonna try and find an excuse to say no? No, until Stanley gets her.
They couldn't go anywhere until Stanley got there. Tatsuno knew exactly what he needed to do. What's the matter? Ozawa turned and cast a look of confusion back at Tatsuno and Kanan, both of whom had stopped in their tracks. We'll wait out here, Tatsuno said. But, I mean, isn't Kanan going to hack the password? There's been a slight change of plans. Go ahead and wait for us at the lab, Director.
Is he holding a gun at her?
I would assume so.
That's why she's not saying anything.
But we don't have much time before Maria develops symptoms. I'll be inside. Please don't keep me waiting too long. With Maria in his arms and a worried look in his face, Ozawa hurried through the gate and disappeared from view. What do you think you're doing? Kanan asked.
Ah, he is holding a gun, point blank.
Stiffening as Tanano nudged the barrel of his gun against her spine. You're Alphard, aren't you? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's no use trying to play dumb. Stanley found proof.
Woo!
Before he finished speaking, Kanan seemed to disappear from view. She cartwheeled away at blinding speed, too quick for Tatsuno to keep
God,
on
she's got a gun too!
Beat on her.
Everyone has a gun. Why does everyone have a gun? Japan is so strict with everything they import.
By the time she righted herself, she had already drawn a gun of her own. Abruptly, he found himself facing her in a stare-down, weapon aimed at one another. Then Kanan's phone rang, and she reached in to answer it. Don't move, Tatsuno roared. Did you forget the plan? That might be easily called. I don't care. Don't you move. If Kanan really was Alphard, the whole plan might be a sham. Tatsuno kept the barrel of his gun squarely on his mark. Kanan let out a little sigh. Have you considered that Stanley might be lying to you? Yes, it's possible. But I need to make sure we avoid a worst-case scenario. If you don't let me into the lab, who's going to hack the password? We've got your little decoy. My friends will get the fake Alphard to cough up the password. Once her phone had stopped ringing, Kanan sighed again. And what about Stanley then? Is he on his way here?
Hey! We are like Stanley!
No, he has a bad end.
Yeah, but maybe not anymore.
No, we'll see. Who knows? Tatsuno said. Well, we need to change some things so the explosion doesn't go off.
Yeah, but that only goes
Shibuya
off.
Scramble.
That only goes off because Tatsuno's phone called Stanley, and then Stanley decided to call Achi. And then you heard the explosion.
There's another reason why that is happening.
Yes. But right now, it seems like Tatsuno is the main culprit for that bad hit. Something happens to Tatsuno.
Are you saying that because you know, or because...
No, I don't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna keep to my theories. So.
Okay, sure, whatever.
At that, Kanan lowered her gun. She seemed disturbingly full of confidence. Kanan flipped open her cell phone. Who do you think you're calling? Tatsuno adjusted his aim, pointing his gun at the young woman's head. Look, I'm going to call Hitomi and have her clear up these suspicions you have about her. We don't have time for this right now. Wouldn't you agree? Kanan stared back at Tatsuno, cell phone in hand, waiting for his reply.
What are you gonna do?
Stop! This is the sort of nonsense we don't have time for right now. Kanan shook her head and put her phone away. If you're really Alphard, then you don't actually need to hack the password, Tatano said. I'm guessing you already gotten it from Tanaka, which means you'll be able to get your hands on the answer file as soon as you get into the lab.
Yeah.
Kanan didn't do as much as flinch. The only thing stopping you is the answer file still in Hitsumiya, whose was blood. Or body.
Specifically blood.
But possessing the answer file and having a monopoly on it are two very different things. You want to eliminate Heat. That's why you lured her down to the scramble. Am I wrong? If that's true, then how am I planning on getting rid of her? Using this so-called substitute Alphard or something? Yes, that's right. Tatano couldn't be certain, but he couldn't think of any other way. Kanan let out a laugh. You don't know the first thing about Alphard, she said. Alphard keeps the outlines of his plans blurred so that his deliberate actions just get lumped in with coincidences. That's the crux of all his plans. That's how he's able to pull off his schemes by himself. He'd never solicit help from a third party. The words seemed like they were Kanan's, but also seemed like they were Alphard's. With his gun still at the ready, Tatano got his phone out and called Kano. The young detective was quick to pick up. Detective Tatano, what's going on? You need to get Hizumo to safety immediately. Alphard isn't trying to get at her blood. He wants her eliminated.
What?
Hurry. Yes, sir. Once he'd gotten Kano's confirmation, Tatano hung up. And now
So many red
your
names.
little plan has been foiled, Tatano said.
Is it now?
Kanan snorted. Has it now? If I really am Alphard, then all I need to do is eliminate you here and head right into that lab. Even without her gun raised, she still irradiated intimidation. Tatano might have had her at gunpoint, but he could feel the threat of her presence like a gathering storm. Eliminate me? He said, doing his best to mask any sign of weakness. You're the one who doesn't have a gun, who doesn't have your gun ready. I don't need my gun, Kanan says. And why is that? Because you can't shoot me. What's that supposed to mean? Kanan glared sharply at Tatano. The look pierced him like a blade. Then she quirked an unsettling smile and took a step closer to him. Don't move, he warned. Tatano said.
What are you gonna do? Try anything funny and I'll make sure you regret it.
He kept his gun trained on the center of her chest. You can't shoot me. Kanan took another step closer. You're still traumatized from that time you let your friend's wife die.
Oh, damn.
How? How do you know about that? Tatano was shaking. His name wavered. I heard you talking with the younger detective on that night. That's right. She had been there. This is my theory. Kanan pointed her index finger at her own heart. If you think I'm Alphard, then shoot me. Right here. The corner of her mouth twisted up. You can't do it, can you? Tatano's gun hand shook all the more. You're afraid to pull the trigger. It was as if her words were a spell she was casting over him. You can hardly even stand the thought of pointing your gun at someone.
You still pointed it at me so many times.
Sasuno shook his head violently back and forth. He couldn't get Kanan's word out of his head. If it comes down to it, just shoot her. If you hesitate a moment, she'll have you dead.
Oh boy.
That's what Stanley had said. And he was right. Don't hesitate. Don't think. This was Alphard. A sadistic terror. He just needed to trust himself and pull the trigger.
What?
It was a horrid, visceral sound. Gastric fluids rushed up Tasuno's throat. He pitched forward into his hands and knees and vomited on the spot. The sensation of pulling the trigger. The recoil in the wake of the shot. It was exactly as it had been all those years ago. He never wanted to fire a gun again. At this point, he'd probably never be able to. Where were you even aiming? The voice had come from right in front of him. He looked up to see Kanan standing right there.
Oh shit.
His heart began hammering like mad. This was the end. He braced himself for oblivion, even as his body cried out.
Boom!
It was the dull roar of a gunshot, and then silence.
Bad end. So change Jack. And Kanos as well. How though? Question. Mm-hmm.
Pulling out his cell phone, Kano dialed up his number. As he did, he recalled his last exchange with Stanley at the crash. Looked like we'll be able to have that beer together after. The phone rang several times before I was about to go. It's Kano. I have the password. Are you serious? Was what blurted in shock. Here, let me give it to you. Are you ready? Yes! As he passed along the alphanumeric sequence, Kano kept his eyes on Paul. The man stared back at him with an expression of bitter. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. Then at last, it was a once excited voice came through. That did it! It opened! The lock opened! Kano let out a deep breath of utter relief. Homer snorted. You really are satisfied with catching me and saving the life of one girl. I suppose it's the Japanese way to forget the pain that's been visited. And it's not over. The bloodshed will continue. All over the world. Women, children, the elderly, innocent, all will be there. Because absolute justice is on our side. Is that right?
Is that so? Fuck.
Kano drove his fist into Homer's face. There was no such thing as absolute justice. It was that kind of blind faith that kept the world in comfort.
Yeah.
Well, this sure is quite the mess.
Hello, Kuze.
Rolling around in surprise, Kano saw Kusei standing there. Director Kusei! He bowed his head apologetically. He may have apprehended the criminal mastermind, but only because he'd ignored a direct order to place Maria on the front. I'm sorry, sir, but I... Stay to your home, Kusei interrupted. You're the one who solved the case. You did good, kid. Once again, Kano bowed, this time even more deeply. Oh, and one more thing, Kano. Yes, sir? Sasayama has regained consciousness. I thought you'd like to know. Sasayama, you were able to save him?
Oh, we finally get some closure on that part.
I got a call from the hospital. Looks like he's going to pull through. That's great. Really great news. Tears of relief came to Kano's eyes. And if Osawa was able to get the lock
eyes.
at the lab open, he should have been able to get Mario to the antibody. Kano dragged Palmer to his feet, then undid the handcuff from his own wrist, using it to probably bind his captive. The metal ring snapped shut with a soft, satisfying click. Palmer limply hung his head. It was over. It was all finally over. It really had been quite a day in Kano. Beyond all the challenges he had faced, he had come face to face with his own shortcomings. Now he knew what a long way he had to go to be the man he wants to be. But at least he learned what it truly meant to be. Kuze was muttering to himself nearby. I mean, you don't even look alike, but the director shook his head and cleared his throat. You know, Kano, for a second there, you look just like Tusk.
Hey!
Really, sir? Kano smiled, fussing sheepishly with his hair. Kuze's words were the finest praise he could have asked for. Someday he hoped he really might be a detective like Tusk. No, he decided he would be. And until then, he'd never give up on that dream. It might be a long, long road, but he would walk it. Kano looked up into the sky. The neon lights of the city shone from over. This was the same old Shibuya where it always was. But one that he looked at now with new eyes.
Give up, bitch! We ain't done yet. But there was definitely yeah, you could also just do that if you wanted to. There's also Jack.
It's Alphard. Tachino's name appeared on the incoming call display. Kano quickly picked up. Thanks for Tachino. What's going on? You need to get Hitsumo Ozawa to safety immediately. Alphard isn't trying to get at her blood. He wants her eliminated. What? Tachino wasn't making any sense. Alphard, Palmer had already been arrested.
No.
The threat was over now.
No!
Hurry, Tachino barked. Yes, sir. Detective! Archie called out suddenly. He was standing with Hitsumi and the others near the statue of Hachi. Detective! That's not Alphard. He's a fake!
A
Fake?
Fake?
Yeah, I just got a call from Stanley. Kano didn't want to believe it. If this Alphard was just a decoy, that meant the real culprit was elsewhere, still on the loose. Archie's voice rang with desperation. He said the real Alphard is planning to get rid of both Hitsumi and the fake with some kind of bomb. To get rid of Hitsumi? That lined up with what Tachino had just called to warn him about. It must be true then.
Yep.
Once again, Kano tensed. A bomb. But where?
Bomb!
Don't say bomb. Get me the explosive ordnance division. Someone scored.
Explosive Ordnance Division. A team made up of Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Bureau's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th Riot Police units. Yes, fuck the 4th and the 5th one, I guess. As well as a support vehicle unit. Division members are trained in explosive disposal. Typically, a dangerous explosive is frozen with liquid nitrogen and moved away from the site by a support vehicle. The bomb is then detonated in a safe location. Explosives are almost never dismantled on site, because that is way too dangerous. And they only do that in fucking media.
We've got an emergency here, was Kusei practically screaming into his cell phone. We have to scramble outside the station, hurry! The director started running toward the precinct, still shouting as he wove his way through the crowd. Kind of felt himself starting to panic. If Izumi and Palmer were the targets, the bomb had to be nearby. He stormed over to his captive. Okay, where's the bomb? He demanded. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. I already told you the password. What point would there be in keeping things from you now?
Got that fucking right.
And if he had known about the existence of the bomb, he'd kept it a secret so far. Getting him to reveal it now would not be easy. Kano decided he'd just have to go look for it himself. He took a deep breath and tried to think logically. If he were Alphard, what would he do? How could he ensure that he'd eliminate both Izumi and the fake Alphard at the same time? Where would he plant a bomb in order to pull that off?
That is the question,
On
isn't
the
it?
ferry. There was no other place he could possibly have planted it. Kano began to pat Palmer down carefully. Archie, he shouted. Check the case! Hurry! He gestured to the attaché case Palmer had been carrying. Don't move. Kano searched through his captive's jacket and the pockets of his pants. But he came up with nothing. Perhaps Alphard had fitted the bomb into the man's watch or belt. Stop this. I'm not carrying a bomb. Shut your mouth. Kano couldn't spot anything suspicious about the watch or the belt either. He clenched his jaw in frustration. Did Palmer really not have it after all? Detective! It was Archie who looked alarmed. Kano hurried over to him, dragging Palmer along. When he looked inside the attaché case, Palmer's face went pale. No, it can't be. Alphard. Why? His voice was hoarse with betrayal. Then he abruptly broke into stilted laughter. Trusting someone really does make you blind. Such a simple childish ruse. And it went right under my nose. Palmer looked over at Kano. We need to get out of here immediately, he said. That right there is C4.
C4! A plastic explosive created for military use! The chief component is RDX. It's also pronounced as trimethylene trinitramine, which is combined with a plasticized diacetyl sebacate? Yes. I'm like, I've never seen a space between those two things. But alright. Is it highly reliable? It is highly reliable and is used by many military forces around the world. Most notably the US Armed Forces. Because of course they do.
A highly yield plastic explosive used by the military. And that's enough to blow this whole area to smithereens.
Yep.
A chill ran up Kano's spine. Do not let this man go, he said, handing Palmer over to Susan. Got it, just leave it to us. This will signal to his followers to immediately who immediately dumped Palmer unceremoniously onto the ground.
You've got a bomb!
Kano carefully inspected the inside of the attaché case. Archie had found a false bottom in the case. The space beneath it was indeed packed full of plastic explosive. Set within it was what looked like a detonator. Kano didn't know much about bomb explosives. He'd only been
But it does indeed look like a bomb!
taught the very basics during his police academy training. Nonetheless, something to decide. There was a parabolic microphone attached to the detonator. In all likelihood, the detonator had been set to go off in response to some sort of sound.
Yeah.
Hey, detective, is that thing gonna explode or not? Archie's voice was shaky. It looked like it's sound activated, but it hasn't gone off just from having people talking nearby. That means it must be set up to explode in response to a specific sound trip.
I wonder what it is!
A specific sound, huh? Archie took a moment to think. That's it. It must be Hizumi's ringtone. That's why Sandy had me power her cell phone off. So that means we're safe then, Hizumi asked.
No.
It's not going to explode anymore, right? Kano had to fight back any feelings of relief. They couldn't forget that this was Alphard they were dealing with. Assuming they were safe would be a dangerous mistake. Carefully lifting out the detonator, Kano spotted another cable connected to the bomb. As calmly as he could, he tried to remove the plastic explosive from the attaché case.
Oh god, it has a timer!
He quickly discovered that the thinly stretched sheet of plastic explosive was only an intermediate layer concealing a second false bomb. A small timer had been set beneath it. There's not just a sound trigger. Kano's mouth had gone dry. His voice came out as a whisper. The bomb has also been fitted with a countdown. Sandy had been right on the mark. The ringtone of Hizumi's cell phone would trigger the explosion. That way Alfred could eliminate both her and the stooge, Homer, at the same time. But just in case the sound trigger were discovered. As a backup, the bomb was also had also been triggered to explode after a set time. Kano speed dialed his boss. Director Kusei, where's that bomb squad? 1:15, 1:50. Not even 2 minutes left to go. It didn't look like the explosive ordnance unit would make it in time. Kano scanned the area, weighing his options. He noticed Archie standing right beside the bomb case. Archie, he called out, leave that thing and get out of here. But Archie didn't move. No way. He sat down, the attaché case cradled in his arms. Archie, what the hell are you doing?
That is not going to protect anything,
Archie. Everyone's made it safe. Detective, you need to get these people someplace safe right away. Clear the area first, then I'll go. There's no way I can do that. Damn it. Don't you want to save these people too? Kano bit his lower lip in frustration. Archie was right. If the bomb went off amidst a crowd like this, there was no telling how many casualties there'd be. He needed to do whatever he could as quickly as possible. Get back, everybody! Get back! Archie shouted at the top of his lungs. There's a bomb! Everyone, get out of here! Just run!
There's a bomb!
Kano started directing the nearby civilians.
Sitting there with the fucking case.
Hizumi, Sister, and the others added their voices. There's a bomb! Everybody run! Get away as fast as you can! Please, you all have to get out of here! But the crowd wasn't listening to the warnings. On the contrary, some people heard don't see what the commotion was all about. There was no use. They were out of time. Kata had to save Archie at least. He turned back to him and called out. Archie, that's enough! Leave the bomb and let's go! Archie! He shouted. Come on! But Archie only clutched the bomb more tightly. What are you doing? Kano shrieked. Come with us! Hurry! Still, Archie would not move. Suzu's face went pale. Wait. Archie, your leg! What about my leg? Earlier, when you kicked that steel pipe. What the heck? Finally Kano understood. It wasn't that Archie didn't want. He couldn't. And so he decided to get all heroic and use himself as a shield to minimize the impact of the explosion on everybody else. That idiot, Kano wondered. His leg was busted. Why didn't he say so? How did he even make it this far? There couldn't be much time left. If Kano rushed to help him now, he might not make a decision for the bomb at all. He had to make a decision. Kano ran for Archie anyway. He couldn't hit the bank. Archie must be an idiot. He wanted to sacrifice himself to the greater good. The greater good.
The greater good!
Kano wasn't going to let him do that. Have someone else by your shield. Have him give the life yours. Archie had no idea just how hard that would be even if it did save their lives. And ultimately, he was capable of comprehending that. Kano wasn't going to just let this kid die. He reached Archie in a matter of moments and grabbed him by the shoulder hard. Let go of the case, now! But Archie reflexively hunched over lower. What the hell are you doing, man? Why'd you come back here? Just come with me. We have to get out of here. Look, you need to run. I can't move. You've got to be kidding me. Kano squatted down and looked Archie right in the eye. Okay, you can't move on your own. I'm going to help you move. And unless you want to kill me too, you better cooperate. Damn it! Don't be a fool, man! His strength ebbed from Archie's hands. Wasting no time, Kano pulled the case away, then slipped an arm around Archie's side. The legs got entangled as Kano grabbed Archie's feet. Come on, run! The detective shouted when they were upright. They needed to get as far away as possible from 2 seconds left. Kano didn't know how big this boat was. Homer had said it was enough to go forward. There had been true terror towards us. We just needed to keep running as far as their legs would take us. Archie, Hitomi shrieked.
Boom! Oh well. So many bombs going off this play section.
It was a blinding flashing light. Then everything went dark. The force of the blast robbed Kano of his senses. He couldn't tell what had happened to Archie. And in the end, Kano never even knew what cut his own life short.
Bad end. The bomb explodes!
Well,
Again! Just a little bit later, it's just a fucking race against that fucking bomb exploding. God damn it.
that's it for this time.
Yeah. We've been streaming for just about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, it's getting late.
So, if you have missed any of our other streams, you can go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Personal Space. Same name as our Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Where you will find the VODs for these streams And the other streams that we also have been doing on non-schedule.
Yeah.
Those streams consist of Final Fantasy XIV online together with a friend.
Yeah.
And I am a bit unsure if I'm going to continue WoW Classic Hardcore. But maybe we'll see if I have time and want to do it. Right now I'm mostly just playing Dragonflight. Just on my own. Just, you know, trying to grind that reputation and whatnot. Not sure exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
On our YouTube channel, you will also find a pre-recorded series, which we have just finished.
Yes!
Uploaded.
Literally came up like yesterday or something? Or the day before? I don't remember. Sunday. For some people that was yesterday, I promise you.
We uploaded it Sunday at our
Yeah.
UGC this week.
So that final video is finally out.
Yeah. So now we will begin our second pre-recording series.
Yeah.
It will be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Because you never played it.
I have not. And well, I played the original, and I'm intrigued to see what they've done different.
They've done some things different, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But they also stuck to their guns for the very iconic scenes. So that's good. Yeah, that video should come out very soon. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a render throughout the night.
Other than that, we will see you guys again Saturday
Yeah,
for our next stream of Shibuya Scramble.
yeah, and see how long it takes for us to get to the end.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is happening right now, so...
And a lot of bad ends, and yeah, and that's because it's the same shit that keeps happening over and over again. We're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, we're doing increments of progress.
You know, we found out that it's reacted to Hitomi's phone, and now that we've eliminated that, there's also a fucking timer, which meant it was gonna go off anyways. But there should be some things we can do now. We're nearing the end. Most of the characters we can play have reached the 19 mark. Most of them. So, we're getting there. At some point. I was just petting your arm. That's all.
I just trying to think of like what other people we can look
I don't know.
They have orange, they have yellow, they have purple, they have green, they have blue,
Yeah. All colors of the rainbow. There's only really a grey area left in there.
I suppose.
Probably why they went with grey also. It kinda fits Jack's character. Anyways,
Well,
okay. Now I will worry. worry about it.
No, 53.
It doesn't mean I won't worry afterwards.
Don't care. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye!